Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the OnlyDegens podcast. In this episode, your hosts JT and Degen break down our favorite Super Bowl bets, what we think is going to happen. Again, remember, bet responsibly. This is not financial advice. It's just to have some fun. What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 7 of the OnlyDegens podcast with your host JT and Degen. We are breaking down all of your Super Bowl bets for this upcoming Super Bowl between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. But first, my co-host JT, how we doing today?
Man, it's Tuesday, right? Because it feels like Friday. This week is taking forever, man. Holy shit. Fantastic. All of Philadelphia, I feel like if you ask that question, is doing fantastic. So yeah, just rolling with the vibes, man. How you been?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Looking forward to this weekend. Yeah, I feel like this work week is just dragging because all I'm doing is like, I got WIP on in the mornings. I got the sports shows on during the day while I'm working, and it's like everyone's just talking Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, and I'm like, can we get there already? Like, can we get to Sunday already?
It is the hands down longest week of the year. Not even close.
Yeah, and I feel like it certainly is too, just because our team's in it, obviously. Um, Even though like if the Eagles aren't in it, I'm still, excited to watch the Super
Oh
Bowl
yeah.
because it's just such a like huge event for football, and obviously everybody knows you and I are both huge football fans. So like even if our team's not in it, I'm still excited for it. Obviously not as excited when the Eagles are in it, but still this week always drags. This week and then the weeks leading up to like the major golf tournaments for me
Oh,
are always such a drag. Like that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday pre like Thursday rounds, like of the PGA Championship, the
mm-hmm.
Masters, the British Open, the US Open, like all that kind of stuff. I'm sitting there and I'm like, can it be Thursday already so I can throw golf up on my screen while I'm working?
Seriously, I was gonna like second on that. I mean, like that for like you win the NFC Championship, right? It's celebrating. We're having a great time. That first week, I mean, it's just high fives going all around, and you creep into the second week, that media week before the Super Bowl. Man, it just drags. This is just
It
it's brutal.
does. It does. I gotta ask you though, did you see the Eagles fits for opening night last night?
That white pullover.
Those white jumpsuits,
Yeah, they're
they were
fresh.
clean. They
They're
were
fresh.
clean.
100%.
Um, did you catch any of the coverage from opening night or not really?
I wasn't watching it live, but I'll catch some like highlights and updates on X. But yeah, that's about all I got.
Yeah, same here. I caught most of my updates, to be honest, from WIP this morning,
Nice.
because I wasn't watching that live, but it's kind of flat. I don't know that whole thing. I feel like there's so much hype around the Super Bowl. I feel like they could do such a better job with that whole media week, the media day. Like opening night should be like a massive thing, and I feel like it's kind of downplayed a little bit. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I feel like it's still kind of reflective of like the COVID times where like there was nobody there. Like I think it would be sick to have it. Like I know it's in the stadium, so you're obviously not going to fill the whole stadium, but like if they even sold like 5,000 tickets or something, like fans would go crazy for that, and it would be so much cooler. Like when you hear the announcement of like, oh, it's Patrick Mahomes, it's Jalen Hurts, like fans would be going wild. Whereas like now it's like that, like somebody's hitting the sound button to be like,
Me, 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 me.
literally, literally. But anyway, for everybody at home, we're gonna be breaking down your bets, but first we gotta talk about the jerseys. I mean, if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple, I'm sorry, come over to YouTube and you can see the jerseys we're wearing. JT calls me on Saturday morning and goes, Chris, Rally House has the Super Bowl jerseys. You want one? I was like, I mean, what kind of question is that?
Is that
Let
a
me get
question?
one.
I was just, what
So
size do you need?
yeah, literally. JT picked up obviously one for himself, one for me. Super Bowl edition Saquon jerseys, got the patch and everything. We're official. If you haven't seen the short on it that I did, go check it out. The jerseys look absolutely fire.
Dude, it was hilarious. Just a story of me, like, I mean, I figured I had already some like errands to take care of, but I was like, God, for shits and giggles, let's just go to Rally House, see what they have. And an off chance, there's no way they have it, but I'm just gonna check just to be careful. Like, drag the fiance and everything there, and I'm like, I walk into the store. Of course, they got the table out front with all the NFC Championship, like those great T-shirts, all the cool hats and beanies and pennants, like we got up here. Um, but then I turn and I look at the counter, and the guy sees me, and I look up and I see the Saquon jersey, and I look back at him and I go, "Are those for?" And I didn't even finish my sentence. He goes, "Yep." And I was like, "Can I buy one?" He's like, "Yep." And I was like, "Can I have two?" And that's how it was. The guy was like, I can't even believe we have these in here. I already got one for myself." And I was just like, he was just like, "These are going to be gone in 2 hours." I had to have just missed my dad too, because he ran in, got the same. Oh, he got the black one, and I called him, and I was like, "No, switch it out for the midnight green one. It's hands down the best one." So all three of us got ours, man. So I couldn't be. I could. It felt like a kid on Christmas, and I've always Jake Quags will tell you. I mean, I'm a huge fanatic with jerseys. Always have been. So
Never seen a larger jersey collection, if I'm honest with you.
um,
Like every player in every color, it's insane. And it's not only for the Eagles, it's Sixers, it's Phillies. Flyers gear is probably a little bit light, but it's okay. It's okay. It is
still
what it
got a
is. You
couple
still
of
have the
those.
gear. I was gonna say, you still got a couple gear. I mean, you probably have more Flyers jerseys than I have jerseys combined, to be honest with you. It's funny, I was telling you, like the midnight green out of all the jerseys, I don't have a single current player in midnight green. And I was telling you that on Saturday when I saw you. It was like I don't know why. Like I've never bought a midnight green jersey recently. I have white, I have the black, I have the salute to service versions, I have Kelly green,
Yep.
multiple jerseys. Like I have all these versions, and I'm like, I don't have a midnight green jersey. Like, what am I doing?
And I was
But
like, I got you.
yeah, you do. But I will say we will not be wearing these on Sunday
No.
because we got to keep the mojo going. I've been wearing my black Devontae Smith jersey basically the entire season, with the exception of 2 games, legitimately 2 games, or when I haven't worn it, which was the 2 losses. And then one of the early losses, I actually didn't have any jerseys on. So I quantify that with I need to wear my Devontae Smith jersey.
I've been rocking the same black Smitty jersey too, man. It's the good luck one. I'll
It's a
put
good
this
look.
on after we win, of course, but
Oh,
we'll get
100%. I'll be wearing this beforehand. I'll be wearing it after. But during the game, from
yep,
kickoff onward, black Devontae Smith jerseys going on.
100%.
All right, we ready to break down some bets for this Super Bowl?
Let's get degenerate.
All right, we're gonna break down the Super Bowl bets for you now. Going off of FanDuel on Tuesday night, just so everybody knows, the lines may adjust between now and the Super Bowl. Really depends on what the betting public does and what kind of action the sports books are receiving. So, going off of FanDuel, just because I feel like a lot of people have access to that book, no affiliation to FanDuel whatsoever, but just using it for access and then ease of use for a lot of people. Again, want to say this is not betting advice. This is not financial advice. Please take these recommendations, picks, whatever. Make sure you bet what you can afford to lose. All right. These are not guarantees, and there is no financial implications on us on this because we are not financial advisors. Just had to get that disclaimer out of the way. All right. Now that that's gone, game lines, baby. Let's talk about them. All right. Kansas City Chiefs are opening, and they opened as a favorite. They're still a favorite, 1.5. They are -120 in the money line. Over under is currently at 48.5. Eagles 1.5 dogs +102 on the money line. Over under at 48.5. So JT, out of those bets, what's standing out to you?
I'm a money line guy. The spreads scare me. I never like betting in general. I'm just like, you know what? Let's take win's a win, loss is a loss. So man, I'm liking that +102. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I do too. And honestly, I'm not saying this is a homer pick, because I know a lot of people are gonna be, oh, you're picking the Eagles because you're homer. Honestly, I'm not. Overall, I think the Eagles have the better team on paper. The only advantages that I will give to the Chiefs are coaching. I think their coaching is better than the Eagles' coaching. Patrick Mahomes is definitely a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts is, and I will say Travis Kelsey is a better tight end than Dallas Goddard is. Other than that, I don't think the Chiefs have many advantages where they would win. Yes, there are certain individual players who are better in a matchup, but overall, the Eagles' offense is better than the Chiefs' offense. The Eagles' defense is better in totality than the Chiefs' defense. Again, there's specific players on each team that I think are better than the other one, but if you put those all together, the Eagles would have if you gave them like each a point, the Eagles would have more points than the Chiefs do on that front. So I think the Eagles overall are a better team. I do not think they should be dogs in this game. I'll be honest with you. I think they should be favored in this game. Overall, I like the spread. I don't think you need the spread. I think they win outright. So I do like the +102 as well. If you want to take them on the spread at +1.5, I like it. But I think they win this game outright.
100%.
As for the over under, JT, what are you thinking on over under?
See, it's tough because I mean, look, our defense is incredible. They're not letting up a ton of points a game. We're putting pressure on them. We're getting turnovers. We're causing hell for their offenses. Um, depending on how our offense is clicking and everything like that, 48 and a half seems about right. But I think that the Eagles, our offense really kicks it into gear and takes care of a lot of those points ourselves. I'll take the over on
The
um
over.
on the total. Yeah.
Okay, all right. This is where we're going to differ a little bit. So we had the Eagles both winning the game. I like the under in this game. And I'm not going to say I'm going to bet the under because I have a philosophy that life is too short to bet unders. However, if you are an over under person, I know a lot of people do like that. I lean on the under for a couple reasons. And I know the past Super Bowls, especially like the last few, have been very high scoring, which would lead to let's take the over in this game. My problem with the over, and I'm going to tell you why I don't like the over. I don't like the over for the sole fact that the Eagles don't let up that many points. You alluded to that. And if you look at their game spreads, right, like the highest amount of points the Eagles have let up recently is 23 points, right? So in the playoffs so far, Green Bay put up 10, Los Angeles put up 22, and Washington put up 23. All right. So if you put it that way and you agree with the spread, you're under, right? Just saying. Now, if you look at the rest of the season, the most points the Eagles have let up was in week one at 29 points against the Packers, which you saw what they did, and they only put up 10 points. Other than that, I mean, you're struggling to get points. They did let up 36 points against the Commanders later in the season. Again, that was with backup quarterback stuff like that. But other than that, they haven't let up that many points overall. So I think the Chiefs are going to struggle to score. And the other thing too is I know the Chiefs are explosive and they can put up points quickly. The thing is, Eagles are going to dominate time of possession, especially running the ball. So I lean on the under in this game. Again, I'm not saying I would bet the under. I would bet money line. I would bet the spread, but I lean on the under in this game. All right, going down a little bit more. We're gonna go tab by tab on FanDuel because I feel like it's a little bit easier to go. So, gonna go over some game specials. All right, this is kind of interesting. There's some interesting props here and stuff. Um, JT, while you're taking a look at the screen and you're seeing what stands out to you, there's certainly one that stands out to me, and I think I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to hit it. I'm gonna have to hit it. All right. The second one, each team to score one plus touchdown and one field goal in each half at plus 1400. Sign me up for a little sprinkle. Little sprinkle.
Wow.
Not saying bet the mortgage on it, but I'm going to give it a little sprinkle.
Just tease it.
I like that one though. Any of these standing out to you?
Kareem Hunt. That's Kareem Hunt. I'm interesting with game specials, man. I feel like they're there for a reason. I feel like if you know
Yeah.
what's really going on and stuff like that. So I really don't have too much experience teasing these. But I like it. I like yours. Each team to score one plus touchdown, one plus field goal in each half. That's
Yeah, I mean,
plus
these things are usually
1400.
these things are usually sucker bets, obviously.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, some of these are legitimate, but like Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes record 15 passing yards in each quarter.
yeah.
Doable. But on these kind of specials, I'm looking to sprinkle to hit a home run, right? I'm not looking to hit a
Exactly.
single on these. I have other bets that I'm looking to hit singles on. I'm looking for a home run here. Um, and I do like the one touchdown, one field goal in each half, especially at 1400. Very, very interesting little sprinkle here. You got these other props here, the receiving props. Personally speaking, I would stay away from a lot of these special props. I would just take receivers props individually. I wouldn't, hit some of these. But anyway, we're gonna scroll down past that. Ignore the scrolling. Coin toss. Coin toss, coin toss, coin toss. Everybody's favorite bet to sweat. This is probably everybody's second or third bet to sweat because we're going to talk national anthem. Now I know a lot of people can't bet the national anthem, but I fiend for the national anthem. I love the
You're
over under on the
you
national anthem.
you have always been a fiend for the for a good old national anthem bet.
Love the national anthem, but heads or tails, JT? What do you think? What's going to happen?
Tails never fails, man. I'm a tails
I
guy.
like it. I like it. I like tails too. I'm always picking tails when I'm on a coin toss. Always picking tails, so hoping I'm right. I do like that. And then obviously you guys can tease spreads. I'm not going to go over all that kind of stuff. You can see all the odds that are there and whatnot. But if this will collapse for me. Let's talk about some. Let's talk about some points. Some points. Some Eagles total points. Eagles are over under 24.5 points. Very very interesting line I think here. 24.5. JT, what are your thoughts on the Eagles over under 24.5?
Over. I think our offense is clicking better than it has all year, right at this very moment. I think we hit that over. Absolutely.
I agree. I think I like the over here as well, which is funny because I'm taking the over in total points, but I'm taking the under in the full game. But I do like the Eagles team total over here. And you know what's very interesting to me, right? So we talked about the spread, all that kind of stuff. It's virtually a toss up. I know the Chiefs are getting a point and a half. Their over under is the exact same, 24.5.
Yeah, there we go. I
So
mean,
I mean, I like the Eagles over. I like the Chiefs under.
like I was saying earlier, man, I think our defense just locks in. I think they let up a majority of the points. I don't know, man. What do you think? Do they let up a majority of the points in that? Because our defense makes incredible adjustments at half. Um, yeah. They're not scoring over 24 points. I don't see that at all.
Yeah, that's why I brought up, those stats. Now I know Patrick Mahomes is a little bit different. People are gonna be like, "Oh, Patrick Mahomes scores. Patrick Mahomes scores." I know he scores, but um, if you look at the Eagles again this season, they've only let up over 24 points. I think three times.
I was just gonna say the
So
same thing, man. I don't. I know this is Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes has never faced a defense like this at all this year.
yeah, exactly. I mean, the only times they've let up over 24 points or over 24 and a half, so we'll call it 25 or higher, was against Green Bay in week one, which I honestly don't really even count that.
No,
And then the loss to the Commanders in week 16. They scored 36. So other than that, they haven't let up more than 25 points in a single game. They've been close, but they haven't let up more than 25. So you're telling me that in, 18 games in the regular season, they actually only play 17 because there's a bye week in there. And then the three games, so in 20 games, they've only let up over 25 points twice. I got to lean the under on that one.
100%, 100%.
All right, let's talk about some touchdown scorer props next.
Now we're talking.
All right, we're talking touchdown scorer props. Who is going to score in this game? Got the lines up. All right. We're only going to talk about anytime touchdowns. I don't really dabble in first and last touchdown scorers. Occasionally, when I'm feeling frisky, I'll bet the first touchdown scorer here and there. But in this, especially in a Super Bowl, I feel like the first touchdown scorer is always somebody like you don't expect. Like I could be overthinking it, and it's going to be a Saquon rush or something like that. But I feel like it's always like some rando who like you got to look at the bottom of the depth chart to find out who the hell is scoring this
It's
touchdown.
gonna it's gonna be a Jahan Dodson first
Literally,
touchdown.
literally. I love that you actually brought that up. I have some very interesting props on Jahan Dotson. But all right,
Let's
Saquon
go.
Barkley minus 190. Honestly, I love that. The problem is it's so juicy that I don't like it. But if you want to parlay it with something, go for it. I think Saquon's a lock to score.
And I'm gonna second that. I think Jalen's also a lock to score. You know, those are our two guys,
Yeah.
really. Jalen gets his every time he plays.
Yeah, and honestly, it sucks betting Saquon Barkley to score a touchdown when Jalen Hurts is the quarterback because anything inside the 2 yard line, Saquon's not getting the ball.
Dude, I just like in years past, like we're getting into things in sports betting and stuff, man. I would I mean, hammer Miles Sanders anytime. Get down to the one. I'm just like, this is just cake walk in, up, tush push, baby. So I
Yep.
learned my lessons and everything. So just hammer Jalen Hurts. Yeah, anytime.
Yeah, I do like Jalen too. Like Saquon. Another one that I like here, I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. I know a lot of people are high on Travis Kelce to score a touchdown. Honestly, I think Mahomes is gonna be looking for him, but I love Xavier Worthy to score a touchdown in this game. Plus 150. I like that one a lot. I think Worthy's gonna get in the end zone.
Hell yeah. And I'll scoot down a little bit further, but you know how I feel about Smitty in these big games, man. This is where. So, looking back, I've been watching Devontae Smith for quite a long time. I followed him as the first game he's ever played through Alabama all the way until he's right here. He's played in every single championship at every single level he's ever been at. He shows up in the biggest moments. And that's why I mean, it's almost automatic for me, but yeah, Devontae Smith, anytime touchdown. He always shows up in these big moments, man.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I like Devontae Smith. Um, my two that I would like really bet would be Saquon and Worthy. Smith's definitely worth a sprinkle. And then coming down here, I don't get in this area here on touchdown scores, but I feel like Noah Gray is an option here at plus 550. Maybe worth again a little sprinkle. Noah Gray though, because again, you already know the Eagles are queuing in on Travis Kelce. They're gonna make somebody else beat them, right?
Yep.
They're not going to let Travis Kelce just do what he does. And if you guys haven't seen the footage from practice, Brent Selleck came back to run routes like Travis Kelce does. So I think they're gonna look to double team Travis Kelce, especially in the red zone, which is gonna open up some other guys. That's why I like Worthy, and it's also why I like Noah Gray.
Hey, man, I like it.
All right, we're going to talk about some passing props up next. All right, it is time to talk passing props. We got some people would consider him the GOAT. I think he needs to prove himself a little bit more. And Patrick Mahomes, you're not Brady. Relax. All right. As an Eagles fan, it hurts to say, but Tom Brady is the best quarterback of all time. And I don't think Patrick Mahomes will touch him. Honestly, I don't think he will. But he is in the conversation. He would have to do something very, very special in the next few years in order to be able to do that. Now, a three-peat this year could have a little sway in that. But Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, number one quarterback in the league considered by many, and then Jalen's probably down at the bottom for a lot of people, or close to the bottom, like middle of the pack type quarterback. But again, those numbers don't matter because we're coming to the Super Bowl. So, JT, what do you think? Over under on Jalen Hurts, 211.5.
See, I know a lot of people might disagree with this, but I got a couple different things drawn up in my head that I think are going to happen. Um, I'm going to take the over on 211.5 on Jalen, just because I got something in the back of my head that he's going to throw a bomb to Smitty or a bomb to AJ. And it'll just take that total and expand it based off of his typical kind of average we've been seeing, over the weeks and stuff. We saw it in 2022, that bomb to AJ in the corner of the end zone, man. Beautiful. I think Jalen kind of lets one or two loose. I think we get some good luck on that. So I'm gonna take the over on on Jalen 100%.
I like it. I like it. Again, this is one that I'm not going to touch because I have conflicting thoughts on this one also, right? I want to lean on the over. I honestly do. My head tells me take the under, but I want to lean on the over for the sole purpose that I think everybody's expecting them to just run with Saquon, which they are going to do. But it wouldn't shock me if the Eagles came out and started throwing the ball. Just
Right.
right off the bat throwing. I mean, look what they did to Commanders, right?
Yep.
Commanders game, everybody's expecting them to run. First four plays are passes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I personally would not touch this. I don't love the over. I don't love the under either, because if they do start passing, you're gonna have a problem. The other thing too is, like, we both expect the Eagles to win. How they win though, like, I personally see it almost in, like, I don't want to say dominant fashion, but I think they're going to get an early lead and they're going to hold the lead pretty much the whole game. Now, if they are down, it's going to require Jalen to throw the ball. So
Hmm.
you got two schools of thought there. I don't know. I'd lean on the over. My head tells me the under, so I'm kind of conflicted. So wouldn't touch that one. Patrick Mahomes, though, I am going to touch the Patty Mahomes prop, and I am going to go on the under on Patty Mahomes. Um, Here's why. Again, I said it before. Say it again. The Eagles are going to dominate the time of possession, and I don't think the Eagles are going to let up big chunk passes to these guys. I think that they will get a few, but I don't think they're going to let them just throw the ball all over the place. I think Patty Mahomes is going to get a lot of his yardage in, like, short little check downs and, like, little slants and some shorter routes. So I like the under on Patty Mahomes passing.
He's gonna have to manage a completely different game than he has all year. So I like
Yeah,
it.
I think the Eagles are going to suck up a lot of time. Passing touchdowns. Again, this is another one that I don't really play around with, especially with a Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Over under 1.5 to me is ludicrous. These lines are ludicrous. I'm not betting him to throw over 1.5 touchdowns. If I did have to bet it, it would be the over,
Yeah.
but I don't think he's going to throw that many touchdowns. I mean, we already know in the red zone, they're handing the ball off to Saquon or Jalen's tush pushing in. So, I'd
Yeah.
lean the under, but you see that line, it's ridiculously juicy. And Patty Mahomes, again, I'd lean the over, but I don't like the line either. So I'm going to stay away from both of those. JT, any thoughts on those?
Yeah, no, yeah, I think you hit it right on the hit it right on the head.
All right. Passing attempts. So I'm on the school of thought here. You already know I'm on the under on yards. I'm also on the under in passing attempts for Patrick Mahomes for the same reasons above. 36.5 is a lot of passes to attempt. Again, if the Eagles have the ball a lot of the time, I don't think they are going to throw the ball enough. So I like the under on Patty Mahomes. Again, Jalen Hurts not touching over under depends on how the game script works out for them. I see them running the ball a lot. I'd lean on the under there as well, but again, not touching that one. I do like the Patty Mahomes under though.
I'm right with you, man.
And then longest pass, this is interesting prop. I stay away from these for the most part just because you never know when somebody could, rip one off. The other thing is sometimes, you get those little bubble screen passes that go for 40 yards. Like,
Mhm.
I don't really like the overs and unders on these kind of things. Just know that it is an option. Yeah, passing props though. I mean, again, Jalen kind of not touching them. I like the under on the padding props.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch Jalen.
All right, shall we talk some receiver props?
Please.
All right, let's talk some receiver props. First, we're going to go over receiving yards. Then we'll go over some receptions and stuff. JT, I'm going to kick it to you first with the receiving yards. I feel like you're going to have a little bit more to say here than I will. For those at home, I'm not a huge receiving yards person. I like receptions better
Yeah.
because, even those negative plays count as a reception, all that kind of stuff. But receiving yards, I do have a couple. So, JT, what do you like on the receiving yard end?
I'll kick it up, and I know I'm biased. I know I'm biased 110%. But look, listen, like I was saying earlier, Devontae Smith at 49 and a half yards, I think that's such a disrespectful line to anybody who's been paying attention to what he does in big games. I think Smitty easily has over 49 and a half. He may even have that in the first half. Um, Looking at this though, I mean, I just wouldn't touch Travis. 70 and a half for AJ is a little aggressive, but I also do kind of like the over. But what you were brought up, I think you brought up an excellent point with Xavier Worthy, man. I think that all of a lot of our attention is going to be focused on different things, and I think that's one of those receivers that could squeak by and kind of low key have a day, if you know what I mean.
Yep, I agree. I like the Smitty over. I
Mhm.
like the Worthy over, and then the
Yeah,
other one that I like is Saquon over 12.5.
yeah, I didn't even see
Um,
that.
yeah, I just scrolled down. I do like it. There's obviously more here. I'll
Yeah.
go through them quickly, but I do like Saquon over 12.5. And
Yes.
then I like this one's hilarious to me. Jahan Dotson over 3.5 yards. I'm sorry. I know he's not a huge factor in the Eagles offense, but if you're giving me 3.5 yards, I'm gonna have to take it.
He comes out of nowhere sometimes, man, and cranks off things. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
So yeah, that's for yards. That's really what I like. And then in terms of receptions, we could talk receptions. Um, you know, I'll be honest with you. In the reception game, I don't like any of these lines enough here. If you're gonna alternate tease some of these lines, okay, maybe like Travis over 6.5. If you look at Travis's stats all year long, yes, he has been doing well in the playoffs, but he hasn't really done that well. And I think the Eagles are gonna cue in on him, so I don't love that. AJ Brown over 4.5. I don't like the line there, so I don't know. But I know you're gonna take Smitty over 4.5. But I do like a couple down further. All right. So for those of you at home, I'm gonna scroll down here. You're like, who the hell are you talking about? Jahan Dotson. I want him again, baby. Over half a catch. Dude needs one freaking catch. Sign me up.
I like it, man. I like it a lot. I think these are just yeah. I think that's a lock for sure.
I love the Jahan Dotson over. Again, I like Noah Gray over too. Like, here's my thing, right? If I'm taking these guys, I'm looking for some of these guys who are maybe lower on the receiver chart because you already know the big time guys are going to make big time plays, but who is going to get the plays while those big time guys aren't making the plays? Sign me up for Noah Gray. Sign me up for Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, I'll second the Jahan Dotson. I haven't watched enough No Gray, but I know where your head's at with that. But I have a tough time betting for the other team. So I'm Jahan
Uh,
Dotson
I
100%.
I agree with you, but like my thing too is like if you're gonna offer me that they have to get one catch, like one singular catch, I'm doing it. Like, and just so everybody at home knows, we're gonna go over like our favorite bets at the end. Jahan Dotson over half a catch is one of my favorite bets of the entire Super Bowl.
That could be number one.
Like, honestly, to me, that's a crime. Like, I wouldn't be shocked, honestly, first drive, Jahan Dotson gets a catch.
Just dump it over to him. Just lock that in.
Yeah. All right. Receiving props. There we go. Let's go over some rushing props. We'll talk about Saquon. We'll talk about the I guess I don't know, two-headed. I don't want to call it a monster, but the Kareem Hunt Pacheco duo. They're not a monster to me, but we'll talk about it. All right. Rushing prop time. Rushing prop time. All right, you already know. JT and I both got the Saquon jerseys on. Does that mean anything? Absolutely not. But I do like the over. I'm gonna lean towards the over. I think he hits this pretty easily. I think he's going to rip off a couple long ones, and then again, hoping for a lead late in the game, and then just hand the ball off to Saquon like they've been doing all year. So I do like the over on Saquon's yardage at 109.5. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, if I'm leaning any way, one way or the other, I'm going over clearly. And to your point, getting like he's going to rip off whatever Saquon's going to eat, right? But to your point, man, I feel like he's gonna, when it kind of gets down to like the end of maybe like the end of the first half, end of the game, I think that Saquon could easily rack up some even garbage yards, dude. He's insane. I feel like he could just rip that off. Like 109's been that's kind of easy for him at this point, which is crazy to say. But yeah,
Yeah, that's true. I do like that. Be honest with you, I don't like Kareem Hunt yardage. I don't like Jalen yardage. I don't like Patty Mahomes yardage. I do like Xavier Worthy over 5.5. For the sole reason that you already know the Super Bowl involves a lot of tricks and a lot of little like shovel passes and some other stuff. So obviously, a shovel pass would not count as a rush, but I do see some like end around some other stuff. So I like Worthy over 5.5 as well. Again, sprinkle on that. I'm not betting a lot on that, but I do like over 5.5.
yeah. I mean, if anything, if Andy Reid's taught us anything, that playbook gets deep towards the end of the season. So yeah, got to be watching out for everything.
Yeah, it does. Rush attempts, I'll be honest with you. Again, lean Saquon over. Don't love it, but I'll lean him on the over. The rest of them I'd lean under, be honest with you, on all the rushes. I'd lean under on Hunt. I'd lean under on Hurts. I wouldn't bet any of them, but I'd lean the under. The only one I would actually bet would be Saquon over 21.5. Again, that's anticipating a huge running script from the Eagles. Jump out to an early lead and run the damn ball.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I got too.
Yep. And the only other bet that I really do kind of like here is it's a little juicy at minus 140, but I do like the Eagles team total rushing yards over 150. Again, I think Saquon's probably going to run for like buck 20, buck 30, and I look for Jalen to pick up another, 20, 30 yards. You're going to get close to that, 150 number, add a couple Gainwell rushes in there, and I think they're going to hit the over 150.
That's what I was gonna say. If you weren't gonna say Gainwell, we are gonna have some issues. Got to get Kenneth in there, man.
Oh no, Kenneth's gonna eat. It's
Yeah.
funny to me because like a lot of his props aren't up here. But like if you look at like the rushing yards, he's not even on
Nah.
the rushing yards here. Granted, he is still, I guess, questionable with a concussion, so he may not play. So that's probably why those lines aren't on there. But I hit it in the last game. I'll hit it probably in every game. The over in Kenneth Gainwell rushing yards last week it was at 9.5. His first rush was 9 or 10 yards. I was like, sign me up. Obviously, yes, I know you can get negative yardage, but he didn't for the rest of the game because he had a couple more rushes for a couple more yards, and it worked out. But yeah, I think Saquon obviously is the only running back here that I would actually touch.
Yeah, I'll second that. Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't really do too much here.
All right, we broke down a lot of our bets that we do like. Again, not financial advice, not there's no financial implications here, right? And again, we're not sponsored by FanDuel. We're just using FanDuel as an example. What I would say is if you are betting and you have access to multiple books, shop around for the best line. All right. FanDuel is not the end all be all. Yes, a lot of the lines are going to be similar, but do shop around for the best line, bet on multiple books, whatever you want to do. But get the best value that you can if you are planning on betting on this. And yes, we didn't go over some of these like crazy special bets and all like these kicker props and all that kind of stuff. Stay away from that stuff. Especially if you're new to betting, don't dabble in that kind of stuff. Believe me, just stick to the main bets. It'll make watching the game a lot better, and you don't have to worry about freaking I don't even know what somebody getting a sack or something
Yeah.
because that could happen. It could not happen. Just stick to the main stuff we talked about. So, JT, in review, right? Bets that we like, bets that we don't like. What would be your favorite bets that we talked about?
Smitty overs. Everything. Just take everything. I
I
mean, going back and forth. I love how Devontae Smith carries himself. Like I said earlier, in big games and different things like that, he's a different animal, and that's where he makes his money. That's where he earns his living. But man, like I said, I'll second the Saquon, the bets and everything like that, the over rushing and different things. But I got my eyes on Smitty. I think Jalen takes care of business, but I think Smitty plays a huge role in this game. A huge role in this game.
I do like that. I do like that. What I will say is, like, in terms of my favorite bets, Eagles on the money line are one of my favorite bets. I like that one a lot. And again, I already told you why. Not because it's a homer pick. I like that one. Again, I would lean on the under, but I'm not touching it to be honest with you. But some of my favorite bets though are Worthy over 5.5 rushing yards. I love Jahad Dotson over half a catch. Like I'm telling you, I'm putting that in parlays. I'm putting it in everything. And if Jahad Dotson doesn't show up, well, screw me. But like if you're giving me to have a catch, I love it. I love it. And then I also love the Saquon touchdown. I like the Worthy touchdown. Um, but if I had to pick my top 3 bets overall, it would be Eagles money line, Jahan Dotson over half a catch, which call me crazy, but I'm doing it as one of my favorite 3. And then Eagles team total rushing yards over 150. Again, we do like the Eagles team total over, Chiefs team total under. Obviously, you can go back and listen and, craft your bets the way you want. If you want to put some of them in, same game parlays or different things like that, by all means, go for it. Again, remember, if you are placing a parlay, all the legs have to hit in order for you to win that bet. If you are new to betting, but you guys got a good flavor, I think, of bets here. Gave a lot of different options. What I will say is do your own research on the bets, right? Obviously, you have us telling you what we like. Mention some research in there as well, but don't just take our word for it. Don't blindly, just go place bets because somebody told you to do it. It doesn't matter if it's us, doesn't matter if it's whoever it is. Just make sure you do your own research, understand why you're placing the bet, and make sure that you do like the bet because, again, it is your money and you are placing the bet. So just keep that in mind.
Be responsible.
Responsible. I love that coming from you.
Yeah, right. Jeez.
You already know. I mean, I gave you my favorite bets. Obviously, a lot of straight bets are going to be going, but you know me well enough. Like, I'm going to play some lottery tickets just because. And I'm not saying like it's a good idea to do, but my whole concept on the lottery tickets is if they hit, I look like a genius. If they don't, hopefully my other bets cover. The lottery ticket, and basically it's I'm trying to win a ton of money off a relatively small bet, and hope it hits. Right, it may hit, it may not. More often than not they don't hit, but the feeling
But
when the lottery ticket hits.
I was gonna say I've seen a couple of those for you.
Oh yeah, you've seen them. But anyway, again, everyone at home, not betting advice, but it is betting advice from us. So again, do your own research, figure out what you want to say. JT, final thoughts for the Super Bowl, final thoughts on the bets, final thoughts for episode 7.
Man, like I kind of started it off. I feel like this week is just going to continue to drag. But looking back to the bets, man, I think Jahan Dotson, and I forgot to say that when I was speaking up, but half of a catch. Like I don't like. I feel like that's just more disrespectful than anything. But yeah, I got Jahad Dotson. Take the overs on Smitty. The Eagles are going to win this game, man. They're going to bring the Lombardi back to Philadelphia, and we're going to be celebrating this coming up week in Philly. That's what I got. That's what the city expects, and that's what these players are going to bring home to us, man.
I love it. I love it. I love the energy, that let's hunt energy. I think the
Mm-hmm.
Eagles are hunting for the trophy. So I do expect them to bring it back home, bring that Lombardi back to Philly, watch it go down Broad Street again. And if they do, you already know we'll be at the parade and we'll be celebrating. But overall, again, everybody at home, hopefully you enjoy the Super Bowl. If you're watching it for the game, fantastic. The commercials, the halftime show, whatever you're watching the game for, enjoy it. Have some good food, grub up, have some good drinks. Again, be responsible. If you're drinking, please do not drive. You're It's not worth it.
Oh
Trust us,
God,
it's
no.
not worth it. Um, don't do it. Ubers are not that expensive. Sleep over if you have to. All right. Be
100%.
responsible. Be responsible. Be responsible. And all I got to say is thank you for watching episode 7. We appreciate you. Tell a friend about the Only Degens podcast. And my final words go Nerds.